Hey everybody, Dan here for Argo Comics, where we do not just publish independent comics, we support independent comics. We have been picking up these indies. This is an indie monster haul, so there is a monstrous amount of books to get to. If we encounter technical difficulties where we cut out before we get all these in, you can just be assured that I will come in for a part 2, get to the rest of the books. I would be remiss if I don't mention my own Kickstarter up right now, the Guys with Powers, or GWP Kickstarter. I'll have it in the show notes. You can just go to Kickstarter, search GWP. It'll be your top result in the search engine. And pretty much we have fulfilled our last Thunderzone Kickstarter. So I'll just quickly show you the books that we fulfilled. And you can get any of these books as add-ons in the new Kickstarter. You can also do the catch-up tier, which would give you all of the releases we have done thus far. So if you wanted that digitally or physically, you are new to us and you want to get all the books, you can back that tier. Or you can go to the add-ons. We have an add-on that is add-on any back issue. So you can multiply that into 5. If, let's say, you wanted Supercross 1 through 5, you can just multiply that add-on to 5. We had this book within that Kickstarter, How to Draw Characters from the Thunderzone. Okay, and this is a comic book, but in actuality, this was just kind of like a preview. We have the full book, which I believe is around 200 pages, on Amazon now. So if you wanted How to Draw Characters from the Thunderzone, which that book, this was more of an instructional, okay? Hands and feet, those are always tough things to draw. We had chapters on that. Weapons. It does say How to Draw Characters from the Thunderzone, but it is a drawing instructional from Jerry Hines, who is in Singapore. He's our senior editor in Thunderzone, puts out the book Supercross, created this logo, Thunderzone. He really went all out in this instructional with drawing, inking, coloring. I believe he just touched on lettering. So you got everything in that book on Amazon. I'll put that link in the show notes as well. But he utilized a lot of our previous art that we've been doing in the past 6 years in Thunderzone to come up with this book. As far as giving you kind of demonstrations, see, here's he was drawing Marshall Strong right there, and kind of give you the background on that. There's my own weirdo character. But yeah, we do have this comic version. Again, you can get that in the catch-up tier or as an add-on. We had Sumo Boy #1 come out. Let's see. This is the cover B. Watercolor painted by Alexander Nascimento. But we also had cover A here by Rafael Langelis. And interior arts by Rafael and Alexander Coelho. Okay. Colors by Bruno Costa. kind of getting into Sumo Boy's first day at his new school, coming from Japan to the US. But there are adventures to be had. I won't spoil that. Weirdo number 2 came around. We introduced the Weirdo Mobile, drawn by Eduardo Viena and colored by Peria Pillai. There's the Weirdo Mobile. And singing a little tune there that maybe if you're a comic fan or an anime fan, you might recognize what that was a reference to. But yeah, he got pulled over. It happens when you're going fast. But Eduardo Viena did a fantastic job on that. We had a variant cover by Sullivan Soud, kind of a homage cover. Marshall Strong came in at with number 3. And Mike DeSharnay's doing the writing, Alan Tomasi doing the art, Ricardo Rulo doing the colors. Some really fantastic work. I always like to give you a little look at an interior. Yeah, so we're up to number 3 now with Marshall. People are really enjoying this series. Again, we had this cover A, cover B. A bunch of heroes that work with Marshall. And cover C. And you can specify that. It's just going to be, you're going to have an add-on where you're saying, I want 4 back issues, and then you can say, you know, if you look up our past campaigns, you'll be able to say, oh, I want this cover. Or you could just say, I want Marshall Strong 1 through 3, and then we're just going to go cover A on everything unless it's specified what cover you want. But you can go back to our past campaigns and get covers that were previously offered by looking up those campaigns. You just look me up as a creator, then it says 15 created, which is how many Kickstarters I created, or 16 at this point. And then once you hit that, it shows you all the campaigns I've done. Big House Blues number 4. So this was the final chapter of Big House Blues. Okay. So, well, this is a Rafael Angelis cover, but in actuality, Ron Williams, who drew GWP, our current Kickstarter, he drew the story here. Yeah, he's really a fantastic artist. That's why he came on for GWP as well. Yeah, so this wraps up that storyline. Giuseppe Pica did the colors. Francisco Zamora did the lettering. And we really have some great action. Ron is just terrific. Yeah, and then we had a second cover by Evan Quering, who I've enjoyed his comics, like Jersey Devil. Lucha Mystery Theater, that's another book he did. So I've been buying his books, and I had to reach out and get a cover from him. You see, it's kind of a prison riot, because Big House Blues is a supervillain prison with superheroes as the corrections officers. That's why they all have badges. Even though they are allowed to wear their regular costume, they have a badge. And here was a custom cover where people are able to get their character in on the cover. It's mealtime in the prison, and we have the meals being brought to the prisoners, and prisoners are various backers. So that was very fun to do. Then we had Supercross 5 come out. Okay. So this kind of wraps up a storyline. We do have 6 on deck, but and you'll get a complete breakdown of all the characters and what's been going on. So, oh well, here's all the characters. So you can just jump in on number 5 and, you'd be completely filled in. But like I said, you can order 5 back issue and, just have those 5 back issues and then just specify in the survey Supercross 1 through 5. Again, some fantastic art by Jerome, who did the art book, so you get to kind of see the process in that art book. All right. Kickstarter. I got Cosmos 9 and Cosmos War. Cosmos 9, I got, let's see, this cover, and then this holofoil cover. So I got both covers there. Cosmos War is Advent Comics, huge multi-company crossover with, big and small properties alike, ranging from having Nexus, Mike Barron and Steve Wood's Nexus is within this, but a lot of indie creations from a lot of friends in the business are in here as well. And all masterfully drawn by Alan Goldman. Inker was Silas Dixon. Colors by the late great Dio Lima, who I had worked with as well. But in addition to Dio, he had Tony Brandau, Chris Hall, Russ Hughes do colors as well. Letters by Amal Desai. So, that is an impressive crew to have on this book. Just like some really impressive artwork. Alan is second to none in doing comic book art. There's Terrence Baker's Pink Hammer front and center on that one. So, it's really great to see all these indie properties come together and take part in this story. Let's see. Let's take another look here. Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much, but You just, like I said, you just get like a whole gaggle of heroes in this. Really great stuff. Now, Cosmos War, I'm not entirely sure where it lines up within the story. I have to take a look at that. But, again, many indie properties taking part in this, as well as my own Shazrath from Argo 5. Okay, featured on the cover. There's Spider Squirrel. I recognize him right away. Let's see. Yeah, Andrew Rowland's Valiant. That's the creations. He's had it for a number of years. Andrew's a great guy as well. Actually did a little 8-pager for myself in Argo Comics Double Shot. I believe it was number 4 or 5. No, number 3 or 4 rather. He did a great little story there. So he's a great writer, but again, he's just lending his character here for a cameo. But yeah, Argo 5 fans, you'll want to jump in on this because we have a Argo 5 page there by Alan Goldman. Okay, now I did have Alan draw an issue of Argo 5. Argo 5, I'm thinking it's number 18, but I cannot be sure of that. But he did a fantastic story for me as well, and it was great to see him hitting these characters again. So for my own fans, you'll want to track down Cosmos War. I'm sure it'll be Advent Comics will have another Kickstarter, and they will have back issues available. Yeah, we got Eric Bennett's Steel Wolf here, and there's Savage Dragon as well, or I should say Malcolm Dragon. So, yeah, I mean, it's star-studded, plus a lot of great friends in here. Definitely something that I unquestionably wanted. And that's Advent Comics. Let's see. Furious Monkeyfist. We had Sunshine. The Dead Never Rest Part 2. Stuart Black does Sunshine as well as the Four Horse Femmes. One of my favorite comics. And yeah, there's Sunshine. Sunshine's a little more not safe for work, but safe for work as far as the covers and everything. There's a little bit of spicy stuff inside. So if you're, too much of a Puritan that you don't want to see anything like that, but not much of that. It's proper for the story. Sunshine just does a little bit of that. But yeah, I really love again, there's a lot of comics I like the art, but sometimes the writing and characterization and all that is sometimes a little lacking. But yeah, Stewart really delivers on all fronts with creative writing, humorous passages. Everything is just on point and done well. So I'll really hats off to him for doing such a fantastic job. Yeah, it just has him as the sole creator. So he's, putting in the work to get this whole thing done and done so well. So, got that. I had Icelander and Plasma. Okay. This was a trade paperback. And I had gotten actually for a couple issues, and then I just knew that I should get the trade. Scott James doing this one. There's your, sometimes I don't want to read and hack up everyone's names. So Scott draws Juice Man, his other book, and I guess the art part of it in other books goes to some of the other artists who he knows. His Juice Man book, Scott has done backup stories for Savage Dragon. So there's a bit of an Eric Larson flavor to his own work. But yeah, the artists he has doing this are fantastic as well. Here's a cool double pager to give you a taste of what that looks like. Yeah, an Icelander and Plasma are this kind of Viking type dude and that Howard type character. I don't want to spoil that one. Oh, there's a good picture of Icelander. Yeah, so these artists who are collaborating, they're doing a great job as well. And yeah, able to pick up this trade again. Got his, well, this is Markosia. And he's basically on Kickstarter, so you would be able to catch the next campaign and get the next issues. Just putting things aside here, a lot of books to organize. I got, let's see. There's this Figment and Flame 2. I might have, let's see, I thought I had a comic with this as well. I don't see it here. Have to find that for the next video. This is Andrew Law's art book. But there was a new story book as well. Just too many books. Okay. Figment and Flame. Andrew Law artist who I followed for years. I'll buy any book he has art in. Just a fantastic artist. Oh, here's... Maybe you can freeze the video and just hit that and get your own look at things. Let's see. That's not from this book. But yeah. Okay, so this is his sketchbook. And maybe it's in this pile. I'll see. There was another comic that came with this. Let's see. We have Dave Brink's Perfect 10, the Perfection Collection. Yeah, usually I'm one to wait for trades. I had jumped in on the single issues here. So I guess I was a very good supporter of my friend Dave in the fact that I did both. Okay? And of my other friend Power Rodricks, who did the artwork. He's another one who did an issue of Argo 5. Yeah, the number escapes me at this time. But, yeah. Pow's done great work. I followed him since Avatar Comics. He did work for them years back. So I always enjoyed his stuff. And again, we did that Argo 5 story, some other artwork, some other covers. So he's really a fantastic talent. It's a trade, so I can't really open the book completely, or else I'll break the binding. But yes, good sized trade. Guess we got some covers on the back, past covers on the back cover. Yeah, and it's just very nice to have it all together, presented all at once. See, double page spread. But let's see, yeah, that's Genuine Comics. See if that comes into focus. Yep. And let's see if there's a credits page here where I can just show you the other people involved. Oop. Okay, another friend, Daniel Rodriguez, who did some coloring for me as well. Provides the colors. And Dave, once again, is another one to somewhat regularly have Kickstarters. So I imagine this will be available as an add-on in a future campaign. Another Kickstarter was the Jump In Source book. I had 1 and 2, but this is number 2 by the Powerverse, Vince White. I think I featured 1 in a previous video. I couldn't be sure, but I didn't. You know, with all these books, sometimes it's hard to keep organized, and I have to do that. I have to catch up on filing everything. But basically, the jump in part is people jumping in with their characters. and your character gets to be part of this indie deck. So it's a trading card thing. But in the meantime, the trading cards also get, Vince draws like a framing sequence. Okay, and he did it all. Writing, penciling, inking, lettered. I don't see a coloring. So he does that framing sequence, and then after that, you have the front and back of these trading cards worked into the book. So I guess backing his campaigns gets you an illustration as a card, and then that card also has all your stats in the back, and then it becomes part of the book as well. Okay, so you'd have to flip the page. That page, then the following page has the stuff that's on the back of the card. Okay, so this is number 2. And campaign for number 3 is on the way. Okay, and that's the Powerverse. We got Razorverse. Brought back Grips. Okay. So Grips was created by Chris Silver. Company in the, I think it's like 86 maybe, 1986. Greater Mercury. Well, actually, first it was Silver Wolf. Okay, so Chris Silver had the company Silver Wolf put out Grips, one of Tim Vigil's earlier works. He did some work for Blue Comet before that, but then he went into Silver Wolf and did this Grips, which became very, very popular. They also had other titles, The Eradicators, Legion X1, Legion X2. I pretty much have them all. I was really enjoying. I mean, at that point, I had however many 20 steady years of Marvel and DC, and seeing other companies putting out superheroes in the 80s kind of jazzed me up for new characters and new creations. Grips was among them. I just really enjoyed. But Everett Hartsoe, creator of Razor, purchased the rights to Grips from Chris Silver. So that's why we are now having, these are the original Grips issues colored, because they came out in black and white. So now we're getting them in color. We're getting additional pinups. Just really great to see. I'm thinking that Everett will go through the original Grip series, color them, and then perhaps we'll get some new tales from Grips. That's Kickstarter. Another one on Kickstarter. Some of these I gotta get out of the bag. Try to keep them in good shape. Oh, I just lost all the tchotchkes. See, I'm quite honestly, I know they do this as stretch goals, but usually I'm not that hot on them. We got a little trading card. This is all for the book Tights. Okay. The bookmark is a good one though, because if you're reading the book You're not going to read it all in one shot, as this is a trade. Here's a postcard. But yeah, at that point, I do like a bookmark. Okay, this is Tights Volume 1. Objection overruled. So, yeah, oh, look at this. I mean, well, you can see it over here. Whole bunch of characters are all in black and white here, but here on the back, got a whole bunch of colored illustrations. So yeah, I mean, who doesn't like seeing some new characters? Let's see if there's a credits page that I can. Well, it's going to be tough. Again, this is a trade, so I'm not going to rip it apart. There you go on the credits. So it seems like we had a few artists here. Give you a look at the art style. Yeah, I did like all the samples and the write-up and everything like that. And it kind of comes with some prints as well, more tchotchkes, where you can see all the characters here in this print. Let's see if we got the company. It's Tights by this anime fan is the. Oh no, that's just on that guy's chest, maybe. I was gonna say if that's the company. All right, well, they have a whole bunch of social media links if you want to track them down. Freeze that. Move. Just freeze that and track them down. I think, again, if you search Tights on Kickstarter, maybe you'll come up with this, Tights comic, and then you can just look on his profile and follow him. You can follow people on Kickstarter, and that lets you know any of their new projects. Or if you've backed them before, you always get these notifications. So-and-so has launched another product, launched another Kickstarter rather, and then you can keep up with the products that they put out. Okay. I backed one issue of this before. Now they came out with a couple trades. So this was Second Shift. Okay. Second Shift. This was another multi-company crossover type thing. I think the one that I backed was called Second Shift Doorways. So this is trade 0. I like the character designs, and I like the art style. So, and I always read the descriptions and everything, get a sense of what's what before I back anything. Usually pricing will also, if they're not price gouging on these Kickstarters, these are all things that come to mind for myself when I'm looking to back. But yeah, I did like the art style. See, a lot of these being trades instead of floppies, it's harder for me to show you what's what. And we do know that I read physicals. I don't read digital, so it's not like I'm going to pull up an image. But I like this art style, pretty clean. Maybe a little bit Kevin McGuire. I mean, again, credits. Freeze that, read it at your leisure. But yeah, I do like the look of it. And I mean, from this, I will have 4 trade paperbacks. We had 0 and 1. And here we have, let's see, well, number 2 trade. Oh, and look, in the back of these are kind of like a handbook type thing. So that's always good. Give you a background on the characters. So we have this trade number 2, but we also have, well, second shift doorways. I have number 1, so this is number 2 of that. And this was more like the crossover with a bunch of, I think the guy in the middle is Fire Breather, right? I see Too Much Coffee Man. Seems to be the public domain Daredevil, who's upside down right there. So I am seeing some characters I recognize, wherever they invited in. Now they kind of let you know who's who with these boxes next to them. So when you're reading the story, you'll know who is who. And I guess it's the company, Accidental Aliens. But beyond these issues, they also had this book. Which I think is a homage to maybe an early Spawn issue, whereas Spawn had Cerebus in there. I think he had Spawn in that guy's position and Cerebus where Mickey Mouse is. So what is this book? Is this Second Shift Doorways number 1? I don't know. It says Doorways. Maybe it is the book that I had before with just a different cover. Variant cover. There's E-Man, who used to be quite popular. I believe Charlton originally published him. So yeah, this I believe is Second Shift Doorway number 1. And number 2 is in here as well. So a lot from them. Let me see if I can grab some more of these indie books. YEET presents. Okay, so YEET number 73. Introducing Miss Chemistry. Okay, YEET. This is my one thing from Patreon. It's just $5 every time they print an issue. You get charged, and it gets mailed to your house. Kind of takes me back to my time in an APA. Okay, an APA was an amateur press association where the contributors all contributed to the central mailer, and then the central mailer would collate everyone's individual zines into an issue, and then mail it out to all the contributors, and then you'd review each other's work and everything, kind of like a proving ground. But yeah, we have Black Cricket. Okay, that's cover right there, cover story, pinup. But there are the credits for Black Cricket. Okay, and that's looking pretty good. I like that art style. This is black and white. Sometimes YEET will be black and white. Sometimes it'll have some color in it. Flight is another story here. Okay, and oh, I thought that was the credits. Oh, there's the credits. Steve Shipley. I've seen him contribute to YEET before. And as YEET often is, it's a flip book, so now it's upside down because you got to start from this side. Okay. Here's a full write-up on these characters. And then a story that follows up. Here we go. Okay, and yeah, Ken Bailey, he's doing this story. I remember his character, but he has a female superhero character, Energy Woman, Energy Girl. I can't be sure, but I've seen illustrations of his character before. Here's a look at his art. Yeah, very nicely done by Ken. Part 2 is by a different artist, I believe. Looks like a different art style. All right, and then we get a letters page. YEET has a letters page. All right. We got Antarctic Press, Ninja High School number 202 came out. Okay. So that's 202 issues I have because I have them from number 1. Various other stories and spin-offs that they've had. Here is your credits. Ben Dunn, still doing creator and plot, but written by Alfred Perez. Drawn by George Herrera. Colors by Nick Webb. Yeah, so Ninja High School, I mean, at 202, there you go, with one of your longer running indies or regular comics because they so often restart other series that no one really sees the value of having a rich history and a long run like this. But I appreciate it. So that's Antarctic Press, Ninja High School 202. Give you a sample on what it looks like art-wise. Okay, they popularized the term American manga a while back. So that's basically what they are. Let's see what we have. I'm going to jump to another spot here. Now we had Youngblood 100 come out. Okay, viewers of the Indie Monster all know that I'm a big Liefeld fan, and okay, through various series, we talked about this just now, how a lot of series are mini-series and stuff like that, so you're not always having a straight numbering, but when you add up all the different mini-series and one-shots, strike files and everything, you get 100 Youngblood books. So they went to a legacy numbering of 100 here for Youngblood. Here are your credits. So yeah, fantastic to see this come out. I'm going out of order because this is 100, but we had some other Youngbloods come out in the meantime. Well, here's number 99, which I ended up getting 2 covers. This cover from Rob, and then he had, it was his Invincible month where they had an Omni-Man fight a Youngblood cover as well. So I ended up with both of those. So yeah, I just jumped into 100, but we did have this issue 99, and yeah, Rob's work still fantastic. Composition wise, I think he's one of the best. Very dynamic. And he just, his pinups, I mean, there's a style that you just don't see much anymore, with like a superb amount of rendering. I mean, page rates are down, so everyone kind of simplified their style. So unless you're doing your own, a lot of what we get these days is a more simplistic looking style. And thankfully, a lot of these top names have gone on to do their own books, and they still bring it like that. I mean, there are big 2 creators who still render. Nick Bradshaw immediately coming to mind. Brett Booth, if he's still working for them. Yvonne Rice. All these guys doing phenomenal work. But for the most part, you're seeing a more simplistic style. So 90s to me was the height of comic art. And so when anyone says that my own books look a bit 90s, I think that's the ultimate compliment, because I'm not trying to make a simplistic looking book. Okay, this one, we'll have it on the Indie Haul because it is co-published by Image, but it is Marvel as well, Spider-Man and Invincible. And with this Todd McFarlane cover, you knew I would be all over it. Here are your credits for the interiors, with Robert Kirkman writing, Cory Walker doing the art. So, got some regular creators of Invincible on this. And this was, of course, not to be missed, so I was down. Talking about great creators who went on to do their own stuff. We got this book, Rockefeller's number 0. Yeah, I don't know if number 0 is a different artist, because I thought Gary Frank might be doing this series regularly. Plus, he's just been doing covers, but I have picked it up, but I haven't gotten to read it. So I have to check that out. But yeah, it's been a great series. As far as the art is concerned, I will have to reserve saying anything about the writing. That's another Image comic. And again, the Ghost Machine, that is the people who kind of like are fantastic artists, again, who still have that detail, struck out on their own. This is, they did kind of like a handbook. You can see this is in the style of DC's Who's Who. And you get all these kind of ins and outs of each character in this. All right. Lastly, for today, we'll have capes. Okay, this is volume 1 because it's the return of capes. Again, another Kirkman production. Let me get to the credits here. Robert Kirkman, Mark Engelart, Russ Wooten doing the lettering. We saw him lettering, I believe, the Youngblood book as well. So yeah, again, if you just love a gaggle of new creations, there you have it in capes. Okay, and yeah, remember the original series being great, so I have no doubt that this will be as well. And in the trade, which I like waiting for trades, you get all these juicy extras. Okay, and again, another Image comic, capes. That's going to do it. I'm going to ask again that you check out my own Kickstarter for GWP. Links in the show notes down below. And I'll ask you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Leave a comment below if you think there's some indie comic I should check out. Like, you know, maybe you're reading a grade 1, maybe you're putting out a grade 1, and you think it's something that should be on people's radar. Put it in the comments below. But thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next Indie Monster Haul.